Hello and welcome to another video. So today I'm bringing you the mid-year book freakout tag, and it is a little bit late. If you follow me on Twitter or know me personally, you will know stuff has not been going well recently. So this has been a bit of a delayed video. This was supposed to go up last week, but it didn't work out that way. But better late than never, right? So I'm just gonna get stuck in because we're not going to beat around the bush. There's 13 questions. I did this last year. I will link my my video from last year in the description box below, so you can check that out if you would like to. So the first question is, what is the best book you have read so far in 2021? It's going to come to absolutely no surprise to anyone who knows me, but it's A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. Now, I did this fairly. I looked at the CAWPILE ratings, and this is the highest rated non-reread of the year. It got a 9.86 in CAWPILE, which of course is a 5-star, and it's a very high 5-star. So, yeah. Yeah. Number 2 is, what has been your favourite sequel of the year so far? And I actually have 2 for this. Again, I did go through CAWPILE for this, and my highest rated sequels that are not rereads both come out at 9.57 on CAWPILE. So the first one we have is The Mask Fallen by Samantha Shannon, which of course is the 4th book in the Bone Season series. I absolutely adore this book. It broke me and I need book 5, but it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible and I am obsessed with it still. And then the other one was Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Again, absolutely adored this. This one hurts, but at the same time, it's just so wholesome and I love the characters. And in this, we get a little mini comic of the teachers, which if you've read Volume 3, you'll know how adorable the teachers are. And yeah, I absolutely loved these. Number 3 is there a new release you haven't read yet, but you're excited for? This, of course, is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I adore the Red Queen series. It's one of my favourite series ever, and I'm really excited to see what Victoria Aveyard is going to bring to a brand new series. I've heard very mixed reviews about this, but I'm really excited to give it a go, and I really hope I love it. I really hope I do. The next is, what is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? This is the only book I have like 4 or 5 editions pre-ordered for, and that is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I have been dying, pun intended, for more vampire books. And Jay Kristoff is delivering, and I am so excited to read some adult vampire book. Like, yes, very excited, obviously, because I have multiple editions pre-ordered. I have the Waterstones edition, the Forbidden Planet edition, the Goldsboro edition, and a book box has very, very much hinted that they are doing this as their monthly book, and it's a book box that I get. So yeah, 4 editions. Number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment so far? For this I have 2. One is a book I finished and I 2-starred, and one is a book I DNF'd, but they were both highly anticipated. They're very well loved on BookTube and Book Twitter, and just as a whole they are loved. The first one is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I did read all of this and I gave it a 2-star. I just was so unbelievably bored. I do not understand what the hype was with this book. Literally everyone loves this, and I just don't understand why. I was bored. I wasn't invested. I did not care about the characters at all, and I was just so disappointed that I didn't enjoy it. And I'm really glad that I just got it out of the library and I hadn't actually paid for it, because I would have been annoyed. Yeah, sorry if you love it, which is basically everyone but me. I'm sorry if you love it. It's just, it's not for me. And then the other book was one I DNF'd. I think I was 178 pages into it and I was just, again, bored. I did not care for any of the characters. And that is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This one hurts because I adore Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I haven't read the second and third book in that trilogy, but I adore the first one and I love her writing. I love the characters. I love everything about that book. So I thought I would love Strange the Dreamer. No, I didn't. Hated the writing, didn't care for any of the characters and couldn't even finish it. I even tried audiobooking it. So I started off physically reading it, wasn't getting along for like the first 30 pages. So I was like, let's get the audiobook. So I got the audiobook. Wasn't getting along with that. The narrator was fine, it was the book. And then I tried reading along with the audiobook and again, still I got 178 pages in and I caved and I gave up and that was it. I was done, which was a big shame because I really wanted to love it. But enough of the downside. Number 6 is what is your biggest surprise so far? And this is Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I was not expecting to love this. I didn't think I would dislike it, but I thought that because I am not someone who reads contemporary, and if I do read contemporary, it tends to be YA contemporary. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting to love this because this is adult contemporary romance and I've only recently started getting into more romancy books with my adult fantasy romance. So this was my first like dip really into adult contemporary romance. So I was a bit, but it is a favourite on BookTube and BookTwitter and everything. So I was like, it was gifted to me by Kyra, so I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, and I absolutely adored it. It wasn't a 5-star, it was a 4-star, but I loved it, and I have already got books 2 and 3, and I'm really excited to read them. So this was definitely my biggest surprise so far this year. Next up is, what is your favourite new to you or debut author? And for me, I am picking Jennifer L. Armentrout. I read From Blood and Ash this year and absolutely adored it. I have since read Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, which is book 2 in this series. I am yet to read Crown of Gilded Bones. I'm yet to read it, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And I do actually have one of this author's other series on my shelves and I have just never read it. I've had it on my shelves for ages and haven't picked it up, but now that I know I like her writing, I am more inclined to pick that series up now. So yeah, definitely a new favourite author. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. Now I have a lot of fictional crushes and my newest one is one that Liv is going to hate me for because he's hers, because she read this series first. But it's Hudson Vega from the Crave series. And I can't really say much else than that without giving spoilers for his character. But he is my favourite and I adore him and he's my new crush. But also Red from Get a Life Chloe Brown as well. But more so Hudson. I love Hudson so much. Love him. And then number 9 is who is your new favourite character? And for this I have picked 2 because I can't choose between them. So first up we have Avery from Strange Worlds Travel Agency, The Edge of the Ocean by L.D. Lipinski. The character is Avery and Avery is not in the first book, but she comes into the second book and she is a main character in the second book. She is Jonathan's cousin and I adore her. She is so lovely, adorable, and I just want to be friends with her. She's amazing. But there's Avery. And then If you was watching my vlogs back in like April or May, you might see this one, but it's Alex from the Magnus Chase series, specifically from the second and third books, because they do not appear in the first book. They come into it in the second book, and they are one of the greatest characters ever. They're amazing, and they're a child of Loki, so does it really surprise you that they're one of my favourite characters ever? No, I don't think it does it? Number 10 is a book that made you cry. Now, this was a really hard one to pinpoint one book, because I cry at all books, whether it's happy or sad, but this one was sort of a bit of both. It made me cry multiple times, and I tabbed when it made me cry. And that's A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. I tabbed this, and the pink tabs, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 pink tabs. Pink are the parts it made me cry. And yeah, near the end, it made me cry 7 times. A few of them were like sad or worried cries. There was a couple of happy cries, but mostly heartbreak. So yeah, this is the final book in the Cursebreaker series, and I can't say absolutely anything about it apart from I love this series so much. Next up, we have a book that made you happy, and I couldn't not put this one. This is The Creakers by Tom Fletcher. This book is just pure joy and happiness and laughter. It made me laugh so much at multiple points. I absolutely love Tom's style of writing, and I love how Tom talks to us as the reader and also to the main character as well. And there's just so many moments in this that just made me so happy. And yeah, I couldn't pick anything else other than this for this one. Number 12 is What is the most beautiful book you have bought this year? And damn, this one was hard. I've narrowed it down to 3. Technically 2, because 2 of them are the same book. They're just different versions. Let me show you. First up, we have the Dutch edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I'm obsessed with how gorgeous this cover is. And then you have the end papers, and then you have this cat constellation style thing on the naked cover in this blue, and I've just fallen absolutely in love with it, and I love this. And then also Addie LaRue is the Owl Crate edition, which I refuse to take out of this cellophane because I just don't want it to get ruined. But it's like this black and rose gold, and then on the back it has a quote, and it's just absolutely stunning, and I'm obsessed with it. And then the third one was a unicorn for me, and my boyfriend managed to get it for me, and it's the Rune edition of Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I'm never going to stop talking about this. This was my unicorn book. This was the book I wanted more than anything else in the world, and I got it thanks to my boyfriend, and I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, I am shocked I managed to narrow that down to just 3, because yeah, there was a lot more that I could have put. The Ember in the Ashes series from Fairy Loot. I could have put basically any edition of Chain of Iron that I got this year, but I narrowed it down to those 3. Let's just move on to the last question. The last question is, what books do you want to read by the end of 2021? Now, I am putting in Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness. This is the final book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. I read the first book at the end of last year. A couple of months ago, I read the second book, and I want to make sure I read the third book before the end of this year so I can say I've completed the trilogy. I've absolutely adored the first 2 books, a lot more than I expected to, and I'm really excited to dive into the third book, even if it is chunky as hell. And then also Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the one I'm pretty sure was on my mid-year book freakout tag that I did last year. I will put here if it was on last year's, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I ended up not reading it last year, partly because I just kept putting it off, and partly because there was no release date for the third book, but there is now a release date. So I feel confident enough to read the second book knowing there is a release date for the third. And I just hope it doesn't get pushed back again, like other books. It's happened with other books. We'll see. I have hope, but I want to read this one by the end of the year because it came out last May and I still haven't read it. There are a lot of other books that I want to get read this year. So I want to finish the Scythe series as well, which I am not sure if my announcement would have gone up. It did technically go up and then I had to delete it because I'd messed it up. But me, Ashley and Rachel are going to be hosting a Scythe-along in August, September and October, and I'm very excited. I have obviously read Scythe, but I'm looking forward to reading the second and third books. I really want to get Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas read this year. I've been sort of saving it for spooky season, so I'm hoping I do actually manage to get to it in spooky season so I get it read this year. But yeah, there's a few other books, but I could literally be listing books for days because I have so many books I want to get read this year, and it's just not going to be possible for some of them, but we'll see. But these ones, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get them read. But that was all 13 questions of the book freakout, mid-year book freakout tag. That is a mouthful, honestly. I'm wondering if I managed to read the books that I put on last year's one. I can't remember. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if there's any books that you are hoping to get to by the end of the year. Let me know what your biggest disappointment of this year has been so far, your biggest surprise of the year so far. I would love to see it. And also your anticipated book of the year, of the second half of the year. I want to know. I need to know if there's anything I need to add onto my radar. But thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.